Hey, gorgeous. Welcome to Unapologetically 50 Plus. My name is Angela. Society, it has a story it loves to tell us about life after 50. It's not loud, it's subtle. It's a story that says you should slow down now, be grateful, stop wanting so much, or quietly step out of the spotlight. So today we're talking about breaking free from societal expectations after 50. But before we get started, I have one huge favor to ask. If you find any value or enjoy the content, please remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you can also follow me on Spotify. Thank you. I truly appreciate your support. All right, let's get into this conversation because the expectations I'm talking about don't show up all at once. It's a script you never agreed to. It just shows up quietly, somewhere between the last milestone birthday and the subtle shift in how people start seeing you. I remember reading that script and thinking, yeah, that doesn't work for me. So if you've been feeling like your most meaningful chapter is actually just beginning, not ending, you're exactly where you need to be. This isn't about pretending we're not aging or trying to get back to who we were at 30. It's about questioning the idea that growth somehow stops at a certain age. Because the truth is, the wisdom, clarity, and freedom we have now, that's not a sign we're done. That's the foundation for what's coming next. So let's talk honestly about the expectations we're navigating. They're everywhere, and jokes about being over the hill, and marketing that either ignores us or assumes all we want is comfort and decline, and comments like, just take it easy or act your age. And I always want to ask, what does that even mean? Does it mean we stop dreaming, that curiosity shuts down, that the part of you that figured things out, carried responsibilities, and held everything together is supposed to go quiet now? Because what I see instead is this. A lot of women hit this season and start feeling restless. Not unhappy exactly, just unsettled. Life may look fine on the outside, but internally something feels off. And that feeling tends to show up during big transitions, like the kids leaving home, career changes, or even your career losing meaning. Roles you've lived with inside for decades no longer define you. That can feel disorienting. It can feel like a loss of identity. And when that happens, society offers an easy answer. Be the retiree, be the caregiver, be the background support. Now, none of those roles are wrong, but they become limiting when they're presented as the only path forward. So if you've been feeling stuck, disconnected, or quietly frustrated, let me say this. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're responding normally to expectations that no longer match who you are. And that isn't a midlife crisis. It's a midlife awakening. A crisis comes from fear. An awakening comes from clarity. For most of our lives, we've lived under a lot of shoulds. I should build. I should be responsible. I should hold everything together. I should not rock the boat. But in this season, many of those shoulds start to loosen. And what's left is a different question. What do I want now? That question can feel uncomfortable if you've spent years prioritizing everyone else, but it's also incredibly freeing. This isn't an ending, it's a recalibration. And reinvention doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't require blowing up your life. Sometimes it's quiet, internal. It starts with admitting that the life you're living no longer feels fully yours. That awareness is the beginning. So how do you start moving differently? You begin by questioning the invisible rules, the things you think you should want by now. Ask yourself, did I choose this or did I inherit it? When you replace should with want, something shifts. Space opens up, and that space is where clarity lives. Next, release the pressure to figure out your entire life purpose. Purpose doesn't have to be one big, overwhelming answer. It's simply a direction for now. This season might be about learning or rest or creativity or simply enjoying your life without constantly justifying it. Pay attention to what gives you energy, what you're curious about, what makes you feel more like yourself. That's not random, that's information. And allow yourself to be new at things again. I know being a beginner can feel uncomfortable. We're used to being competent and experienced, the one who knows. But growth requires humility, and learning something new keeps you open, sharp, and engaged with life. You don't need to be good at it. You just need to be willing. Also, be mindful of who you share your evolution with. Not everyone will understand your changes. Some people are attached to a version of you that stayed predictable. Seek out people who reflect where you're headed, not where you've been. Community at this point matters more than we'd like to admit. And finally, let's talk about aging itself, not anti-aging, pro-aging. This is a season where you stop apologizing, stop shrinking, stop asking for permission. This is about embodied confidence. Saying what you mean, choosing what feels true, and giving yourself the approval you once waited for from others. Breaking free after 50 isn't about becoming someone new, it's about returning to yourself. So if this conversation resonated and you want support making sense of this season, you can book a clarity call with me through my link. It's either in the description below or in my bio. It's a conversation to help you understand where you are and what's next without rushing or forcing answers. So remember, you're not behind, you're not late, and you're not asking for too much. You're evolving. So thank you for joining me and listening, and I will see you again real soon. Bye.